Good morning, good morning, good morning, community. Good morning to the West Coast. Good afternoon to the East Coast. How are you today? What's happening over in your world? Jenenne Macklin, transformational speaker, your wealth guide and catalyst. And we have been on this journey for some time now. I think March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We're going on 7 months. Thank you for being here. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your hashtag replay. I see them. I appreciate it. I'm walking the journey alongside. You know, I was one of those people that thought this was going to be a short-lived kind of thing, and it has become part of our life. And it will be for at least another, I give us at least to probably next March, really, to find some kind of balance for the students to be back in school, for the election madness to be over with, and maybe a vaccine. So I keep hopping on here, guiding us to stay focused, stay committed to our dreams and our life. Alameda, I think I'm supposed to turn down here. And no matter what's going on in the world, for us to still stay focused on our dreams, on our life. Hi, Tammy Chapman, where are you? And to at least give you a different point of view, I guess, in looking at things. I look at things kind of a lot differently. And so that's what I do. So today I wanted to hop on with a quick tip, though. And the tip is, no matter what's going on in the world right now, no matter what we see, no matter what they're saying, the key thing is going to be action. We've got to take action. Okay? Kwayam, is that it? We have to take action. It's great, you know, this big, huge, I want to say invisible system that they have called the internet that's floating out there in the world. It's great to be on the internet and be on Facebook and Twitter and on Instagram and all those platforms. Wonderful, great, amazing technology that we have access to. However, that's not going to get us what it is we want. I don't care if you're red, if you're blue, if you're green, or whatever it is that you're rooting for and wanting to see the end results on November 3rd, which we may not know really until November 5th, but we'll have a good idea on November 3rd. It's going to take action. All the fussing, screaming, and complaining doesn't get us the results. You know, I have friends, I can call them, and the first thing they'll say is, I can't stand that man. I'm like, and why are you giving him your attention? What can you do? What action can you take that'll relieve some of your frustration? You can't go around beat up everybody, so don't even try it. But what is the action you're willing to take? And I say that because I have a coach. You know, all coaches have coaches. So I have a coach that I was working with. And she said to me the last time we were together and the time before, she said, are you open to doing poll calls? And, you know, I paused because what we talk about didn't have anything to do with the election. And I was like, well, I guess. I'm like, you know, I'm not really that big on all this. Part of how I've maintained my sanity is staying 6 degrees from the politics and from the person who's not in charge and from the conspiracy theories and all that stuff. That's how I maintained my sanity. And then, of course, as you can see behind me, my trees and walking in nature and prayers and meditation and baths on a regular basis and music. So I said, well, I'll think about it. She said it's a 3-hour shift. And she was talking about how she had made calls, and there are people who aren't sure if they're even going to vote still. So I thought, wow, this is a major election. Even if you don't want to vote, it would seem like you'd want to be a part of it, to say that you participated. Good morning.
You don't need a mask, you're pretty.
Thank you, dear. We all got to have a mask, pretty or not. Next thing, he made me lose my thought, just being nice to the neighbor. But so I thought, okay, well, maybe. So I talked the other day and she asked again, because she's in South Carolina. And in South Carolina, the big push is, I think, Lindsey Graham. And the person, the front runner, who could potentially have some impact is Jamie Harrison. And so she's talking about making calls to support him because he's in a good position. And I thought, you know, what are the actions that we are taking? Really, besides complaining and fussing, what else? Morning. Black folks. What are the actions we're taking? This is not where I want to be. I'm going to walk right back down here. Hate being on the street, it's too busy. What are the actions you're willing to take? You know, we're going to vote. Everybody's going to vote. But what about making calls? You know, if you're like me, you've made contribution after contribution to whatever degree that you can. And that helps. But I don't know about you, but at one point it seemed like I was getting bombarded with so much. I couldn't keep track of who was who and who I'd given money to and what they were supposed to be doing and what they said they were going to do. So that was becoming quite tedious in a sense for me. So then I was thinking, well, why won't we take some other actions? So I'm going to look into doing a polls calling. I haven't done that. And I'm looking into, my son's going to look at working the polls. But I just wanted to stop by today and ask you, what is it that you're willing to do? What's the action you're going to take? What is the action that will give you some peace? Because there's so many people anxious about the election and what's going to happen next and what that's going to look like. And I don't know if it impacts you or not, or how you feel about it or not. But all of this requires our concerted effort, as a friend of mine would say, our CE. So what's your concerted effort? I haven't had anybody knocking on my door, so I don't know if they're doing that. Those are the grassroots efforts I think that Obama did. But whatever change that you're wanting to see in this world, whatever thoughts that you're holding about how we could be different or how we could be better, how we could work together, how we can think about each other differently than we have been, how we can begin to honor not only ourselves, our people, our culture, but honor those next to us, those who are sitting next to us, those who are in our neighborhood, those who we may not necessarily know personally, but we see them. What is the action that you can take between now and November 3rd? What is the action? It may be no more than simply making sure that everyone's registered. It may be no more than making sure that people have their ballots, they understand their ballots, they understand the propositions on them. You know, I got my ballot yesterday. I think I showed you. It's the first time I get to vote by mail. Yay, I'm excited, although I'm going to walk it in. I don't trust the mail system unless I take it right to the county recorder's office. And that's the street I want to walk down. And it was great to get that ballot. Then when I opened it up, I didn't open it up yet, but someone was saying, open your ballot because you need to make sure all the presidents are on there. I was like, what? All the candidates are on there. So you may want to do that also if you're voting by mail. Morning. But I opened up my ballot material, I'll go this way, before, that lays out everything. I was surprised to see Kanye made it in California. My friend in North Carolina and South Carolina said his name isn't on the ballot there. So I thought, okay, great, Kanye. Now we have one more distraction for potentially, Bernie Sanders young people, the 18 to 38-year-olds, who may want to go ahead and say, well, they'll put their vote somewhere they think it counts and where it matters. Look, I know the electoral system is not as effective as we'd like it to be. I know my son is through with the electoral system, the electoral vote, and the populist vote just drives him crazy. But it's what we have to deal with for now. So we deal with what we have until we change it. We just don't not do anything or not do it at all because we don't like it. That won't make a statement. Why not let this be some kind of landslide, amazing election that they have ever seen, never before? Why won't we allow that to be what we demonstrate? We don't need to be yelling, screaming at people, being mad, although I love the protests, and that they've continued now for 8 months. Where we get to show our voice, where we get to say what matters, is truly going to be in the ballot. Getting to the polls, and everybody knows now, we have had enough elections where there have been enough problems to know that you cannot wait until election day at 3 o'clock to go to the polls. You just know that already. And now that that people are off from work, some essential workers are going to work. There's a little bit more traffic these days, so I know people are out and about, but many people are not. So there's no reason to wait. Here in California, our polls open on the 30th. I didn't even know that. I was always going to election on that Tuesday. So that's the 30th, the 31st, while y'all running around talking about Halloween and getting sick, eating all that sugar, more diabetes. The 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd. At least in California, we have 5 days to vote. You see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we want to wait till the last day? Not this year. Not this year. I'm walking my ballot into the poll on the 30th at 7 o'clock when they open. So what is the action you're willing to take? Maybe you need to help somebody get to the polls. Maybe your car needs to pick up people and drive them to the polls. Maybe your church has buses sitting in the parking lot that they're not using, because it's amazing how many black churches are not having services, not even outside in their parking lots. Maybe those buses can be used to get people to the polls. But what is the action that you're going to take? Hi, Sherry. See, what is the action that you're going to take? What is the action that you're going to take to have an impact on this upcoming election, and ultimately an impact on your life and the lives of others? Now, that's the election because it's the biggest thing that's going on right now and is garnering most of our attention. But I'm sure there are other things that you can do as far as actions are concerned between now and the election. It doesn't have to just be the election. It may be that you have conversations with people you don't normally have them with to try and understand what their point of view is. It may be that you take the time to read all the information about the doggone propositions. They came out with all the yes, yes, yes propositions here in California, particularly on the Uber riders and all that stuff. And then yesterday I just saw the no on that same proposition here is 23. The Uber drivers need this, and then the flip side of it was completely different. And I was like, I actually need to sit down and read about this. Because I know Uber was operating in the beginning, basically illegally, making money and doing everything, usurping the power of the taxi drivers and everything. Then gradually they pulled them back in. Then they had to go back out again once they did whatever qualifications they needed to do. So maybe it's that you actually do take the time and read the propositions. Maybe you actually sign up to work the polls. Have you ever looked at that when you're going in to vote? It's always the older folks. What's happening to us young bloods? Why we don't give up our time to go and sit and make sure people are registered, are getting signed in to vote? How come we don't think that's a value? I learned last time when I was walking without my earbuds, it can be really loud and noisy in the background. But how come we don't think that's our responsibility? Every time I go, it seems to be women primarily that easily look like they're 50 to 80 years old. So what actions are you willing to take to have an impact on what's coming up? Voting early, making calls. I see them when they pop up on my phone. I still have a landline in case of emergencies. And it'll say, poll opinion or missed poll calling. So I know people are making poll calls. I wasn't clear what I was going to do, how I was going to vote, but I'm clear now. So that's something you could do. Working the polls is always something that you could do just for the doggone experience of it, just to know what it's like, to see what's happening on the backside. Giving people rides to the polls. These are things we have to think of ahead of time. We don't get just sit and look at TV and look at TV and look at TV, and then when the day comes, let's go vote. This process starts now. It really started a long time ago, but it certainly starts now. So what are you going to do? And one of the most important things I've encouraged you to do, and I still will, is stop looking at the news. Or if you're going to look at news, I look at, in California, I have Spectrum. I look at Spectrum 1. I don't look at 2, I don't look at 4, I don't look at 7. I don't look at those. Those stations are owned by somebody who's going to give us a message that they want to give us and not the truth. So I don't want to look at all that. So I look at News 1. But here's the thing. When I did look at it the other day, because I had to see the playoffs, so I had to go back to real TV, I keep hearing words like, these uncertain times, what are we going to do? Times are uncertain. See, that's the programming. They want to scare you to death, so you think everything's so uncertain, so you walk around nervous and in fear and not sure what to do and not sure what to trust. You know what to do. Yes, you do. Don't ever think you don't. Look at the last time you were in a storm. Look at the last time you made it through that storm. Look at what you did. And look at the fact that you did just what I said, made it through the storm. You're going to make it through this one too. So stop letting the news frighten you or tell you it's uncertain. Yeah, there's some things that aren't clear. Yeah, it's going to be tight and uncomfortable going forward. Think of the depression our parents, grandparents lived through. I'm sure it was hell on them doing that. Yeah, we've been through that. I don't know if they had the news bombarding them like we do, but decide for yourself how much of that you're going to allow yourself to take in. Hi, Diane. And sit there and listen to them tell you their story of what's going on. Versus find news on an alternative channel and then here's some other opportunities and here's some other possibilities of how people are looking at this experience and how they're living it. Find some time to maybe listen to the activists and look at the stories around eradicating the conversation. Well, you can't eradicate racism, but being in the conversations around racism. Look at some of the other ways that you can find a way to nurture your spirit. 2, 4, and 7 will not nurture you. You have a person in charge who is very clear that people of color are not his priority. Therefore, the news on those channels are not our priority. You can find your value, you can find your answers, you can find solutions that include you legitimately and with some concern and care about Black and brown and POC people and Native American on other channels. But don't you dare subject yourself to the craziness that's being said on some of these channels. Just protect yourself, protect your heart, and protect your mind, because you're the one that's deciding what you are going to do and what you are not going to do, what you're going to believe and what you're not going to believe. I have not consistently looked at the news since the pandemic started. You hear me say I'm trying to find a way to get rid of cable because I don't look at anything on the cable. I looked at Tyra Banks the other night and I thought, but that was interesting. I turned from that. But otherwise, I just didn't find anything on there I wanted to look at. Oh, I looked at the gypsies yesterday, the American gypsies. Hadn't ever looked at that before. Wanted to know what that was about. Interesting. I realized they were from the Aryan nation. Well, we know the Aryans from the very beginning feel like they're the true, completely 100% white race on the planet. So they want to get rid of everybody. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But what? What for? I thought that's $100 some I'm paying a month for what? So you get to decide for yourself what it is you want to look at, what you want to expose yourself to, what the thoughts are that you want to think. You get to do that. You have that free will. You get to decide that. And I'm saying to you, pick and choose what you want to expose yourself to, because you get to be the one to make the choice. In the meantime, though, take action. This isn't like a party where you get to sit out and say, okay, my part is just to show up at the party. I walk in, I cast my ballot, and I leave. And I'm only saying that to you because I had to say it to myself. And I wasn't really strong. Maybe they'll give me some training or something, because I just didn't know that my position around politics would be strong enough to encourage someone to vote. Because all I can say to you is, listen, it is one of the rights and our privileges that we have living in this country. Everybody doesn't have it in other countries. Other countries, they've overthrown the government because of the people voting on their behalf. So if you go back to the beginning when we couldn't vote, first of all, women couldn't vote. Then Black folks couldn't vote, or reverse. We have this privilege from being in this country. How dare you not take advantage of it? I don't care if you vote for Trump. I don't care if you vote for Biden. I don't care if you vote for Kanye. I do care if you vote for Kanye, because I think that's going to split the vote. And then I saw something else on mine. There's other people I'd never seen their names before in my life. To me, they seem like people they just put on the ballot so there'd be more people beside Trump and Biden. So you do not get to sit that out. If you say, well, I'm not sure who to vote, read the papers. Talk with friends. Those of you who are on Facebook all the time, go on Facebook and ask them about the different propositions. Look in your own states for your assemblymen, your congressmen, judges who are running that you need to vote for. Begin to put people in office who are going to, why are you stopping by my house? Who are going to be of support to you along the way. Somebody stop it. Maybe my son got some food. You know, I don't stand outside. Somebody walking up, stop in front of my door. I don't know who they are. But you got food? For Ian? Okay, yeah, my son? Okay. Oh, yeah, I was coming in the house. You know, I got mace in my house. I got all kind of stuff in my house. So I'll just let you put it there. I'll have him come get it.
Put it here and take a picture, and then
You'll be good?
be on my way.
Okay, great, my dear. Thank you. Have a good day. So you take action. That's the bottom line. Take action. There's no excuse to sit it out. There's no excuse to say I couldn't get to the polls. There's no excuse to say I didn't understand what was going on. No excuse. Okay? Take action. Talk to your children now. Let them know that when you leave the planet, this is what gets passed down to them. And no, it's not always perfect. There's your food, babe. I voted in many elections. Reagan wasn't my choice. Bush wasn't my choice. Bush's brother, sister, and all the other Bushes weren't my choices. But yet and still, I showed up at the polls and I voted. So I want you right now today, October, what's today? October 7th. Begin now to look at what is the action you're going to take in regard to this election. Secondly, what are the actions you're going to take in regard to your own health, your own heart, your own physical health, exercising. I just came back from my 3.5 walk. From your eating, what is the action that you're going to take to keep your heart and your soul safe and in peace? Oh, let me turn this off because they'll tell me it's interfering. I got somebody else's music in the background. What are you going to do to take care of your heart and spirit? What are you going to do to keep you in this game? Because if you're here on the planet right now, you're supposed to be here. There's something you need to be doing. There's someone you need to be talking to. There's some action you need to be talking to. Otherwise, you know what? You wouldn't be here. So don't take it lightly that you're here. Don't think that you don't matter. Every single last one of you matters on this planet. I'm not just talking about the election. I'm talking about for this life that we're living. You matter. Your thoughts matter. Your actions matter. The actions you don't take also matter. So let me know. Hashtag replay, those of you who come on here afterwards. I'm sure Kat will get on here at some point. I lost Crystal. I haven't seen Crystal in a while. What are you going to do? Do you have your ballot? When are you going to go to the polls? If you're not doing it by mail, when are you going to go and vote? Tell me what day you're going to go and vote. Tell me what state you're living in. I don't care about who you're voting for. That's not my issue. I just want to make sure that this becomes the greatest turnout of people voting that we've ever seen. Forget worrying about the electoral piece. Forget worrying about the populace. Just do your part. If we all do our part, it will make a difference. Trust, believe, and know that. That's my Tuesday tip. Take action. Take action and be willing to make concerted efforts. As my coach Lisa Nichols would say, yes, yes. You're supposed to say, yes, yes. Hashtag yes, yes, what you're going to do, where you're going to vote. If you need to take somebody to the polls to help make sure they get there, are you going to vote the day of, the day before that, the day before? What are you going to do? Let me know. Lastly, when I look at the situation, and, Mr. Person who's not in charge is now saying he's not going to send out any more stimulus money. This whole time, I have been speaking about the fact that money is a big issue, particularly for women. And our need to change our relationship with money, to develop financial confidence is the most primary concern for women, that you understand money. Because they didn't teach us growing up. So stop acting like they did. They didn't teach us. If they did, we never would have gotten in debt. We never would have gone down that journey and wasted 15 to 25 or 30 years dealing with debt and interest on debt. So that still is an issue because we can't do our life 100% until there's a vaccine. So I'm inviting you to go to www.JenenneMacklin.com. When you go there, I believe there's an audio for you called Healing Your Relationship with Money. Get that. It's a freebie for you to listen to how you can begin to shift some of the thoughts you have about money, the actions you take with your money. And do you know the unconscious, sneaky, like little parasites that impact your money? It's some internal stuff that we don't realize or pay attention to. So go there. Feel free to download it. I'm hoping to do a challenge. I was thinking about doing it this month, but there's so much with the election, it's just really hard to get into people's ear about money. So we may look at something for the new year. When you go there, though, it'll also put you on my list. Once a month, I do a prosperity call, check in, how we're doing, what's going on, where do you need support, and a prayer at the end of that. So you'll get a notice for that as well as any upcoming courses that I may be teaching. On that note, though, it's, I said it was Tuesday, huh? It's not Tuesday. It is Wednesday, it's biggest day, huh? Ooh, so let's change that to Wednesday wisdom, okay? Today Today is Wednesday. Wednesday Wisdom. I have to go back and change the title. Yes, I don't do Tuesdays. I see for months I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then just recently I've been doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So this is Wednesday Wisdom. Wednesday Wisdom. Oh, laugh with me. Nothing needs to be that serious in the world, okay? We've lived through some crazy stuff already these 4 years. We're going to be okay, and you're going to be okay. So take good care. I'm going to change that to Wednesday Wisdom. Let me know what's happening with you. Let me know where you are. Hashtag replay. Let me know what steps you're taking regarding your voting. Let me know what actions you're going to take. Key, Wednesday Wisdom, take action. What actions are you going to take? You have to plan now to make sure you get to the polls, and anyone else you know that needs to get to the polls gets to the polls as well. What are you doing? Okay, take good care. I'll be here on Friday. Okay, on Friday. Hey, Kat. There she is. How you doing, my dear? How the grandkids? Are you guys in school? Because I know Orange County is in school, and I hear more people going to school. It's like as much as I want him to go to school, now that the possibility of my son going to school, I'm like, no, I want him to stay home with me. But no, he can go. So it's Wednesday Wisdom. Take action. What's the action you're going to be taking? Wow, I did that whole thing on Tuesday. I don't know why I thought Tuesday. I must have missed the day, huh? All is well in Los Angeles? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm looking at going to Palm Springs maybe in a couple of weeks just to get another getaway. Just because. Anyway, everyone, take good care. You've got your marching orders for Wednesday Wisdom. What's your action? And the reason why I'm bringing it up now in October is because this month is going to go by so fast. This weekend ends. Next weekend we'll be in the middle. Before we know it, we'll be looking at voting. So I need you to think now. This is an election where you need to plan. You know, like I'm having to plan. Normally I would just say, okay, November 3rd, which is my birthday, I have to share with him and all of them. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll be at the polls at 7. My son will go, great. It's not like that this year. I got stuff all over my dining room table. Every ballot, whatever they've sent me about the election, it's all on my table. I have so much stuff to really read, to look at, to pay attention, and then to get myself to the polls earlier. So you don't get to sleep on this either. I don't care if I said today was Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day it is, I'm still saying to you, the message is good. You got to take action. Plan now for what you're going to do. Don't think just president only. Look at all the propositions. Look at any councilman or city councilman or whoever else might be on there, depending on what state you're in. Look very closely at your ballot and see who's on your ballot. Because I'm hearing from other states that everybody is not on the ballot.
Not on the ballot.
Who's not on the ballot?
You know Kanye's on the ballot?
Kanye's on California's ballot, but Kanye's not on all the other ballots in all the other states.
I'm voting for Kanye.
Yeah, I figured you would say you'd vote for Kanye. That group wants to vote for Kanye. Don't worry about him. He's only 16. He ain't voting for nobody. He gonna go work the polls. If you can work the polls, why not do that? Why not be that space and face that greets people when they come in to sign up? I always look at those people and say, wow, these are elderly people. Why aren't we in here doing it? I need to be saying, why am I not in there doing it? So I'll have to see. If he does it, I may consider doing it for one day. Now I think about it. I can't tell you to do something if I'm not thinking about it, right? So anyway, for your birthday, November 16th in Palm Springs? Yay! My birthday's November 3rd. Nice. Cool deal. Have fun. Oh, still distancing and schooling? Okay, yeah, we are too. But I know Orange County is in school. So I figure we probably won't go until after the holidays. Because once Thanksgiving gets here, once Christmas gets here, it's pretty much a wash for classes and school. I mean, for, homework assignments and all that stuff. It's those tough months when all the holidays are primarily gone. Well, we have King in January, we have the presidents in February, but February, March, April, May, those are the toughest months for school because there's not hardly any holidays, there's not hardly any vacation or any time off. So we're probably here, back in March and April, I was telling you we'd be here till December. Now I'm saying just to think ahead that we'll probably be here at least until March. We will have been in this probably for a year. What would you be scared of, dear? What you talking about, Kat? Because if you're scared, it means I might need to be scared. Although I don't try to be scared about too much. Okay, everyone, you have what I've been asking you to do is to take action. I will go back on and change the title to Wednesday Wisdom. The conversation is still the same. You're taking action. whatever you choose to be or do. If it's helping with the polls, if it's doing poll calling, if it's continue to make donations, if it's making sure elderly people need to get to the poll that you can help them, if it's reaching out to your church to see if the church buses that may be sitting in parking lots could potentially pick up people and drive them to the polls. No, you can't fill them up with people because that won't be the 6 degrees of separation, I call it. But it could still be useful for people who can't get to the polls. America has still not made the choice to make election day free bus day because people could just get on the buses and get to their polling sites with grace and ease. Maybe they will this year, but if not, that's where we get to step in and help people get to the polls. Oh, sending kids back to school? I'm not scared.
You gave me a knife, no force.
Oh, of course. I'm not scared. Our school is only looking at a hybrid, and those who do go to school, only them will go. No one else will go. Either you get to say yes or no. It'll be less than half of the kids that go to the school. They'll be in those same rooms. They've got the plexiglass in the rooms, and they've got them distanced. So I'm going to send them to school. We'll see how that goes. So, but for now, everybody take good care. Have a great day. Know that you matter. Know your thoughts matter more than anything else. Be willing to take a television-free opportunity to not look at the news and all that's going on, so you're not constantly being bombarded with the message that it's uncertain. It's uncertain. No, there's some things that are certain on a regular basis. We're certain that the sky is going to be up there when we get up the next day, and it stays up there all day long with us. We're certain that the sun is shining. We're certain that there's air that we're breathing. No matter what they say about the virus being airborne, it cannot infect all of God's air. So there are some things you are certain of, but you'll have to remind yourself that you're certain of those things, because the TV's job is not to remind you of that. The TV's job is to impact you emotionally and then have you take action based on your emotions, which looks like spending and shopping and worry and all of that. And you're too good for that. You're too valuable for that, to be sitting somewhere worrying and in fear. People need our help. They need our support. They need us to share our food. They need us to share our time. They may need us to share our clothes. Whatever we have that we can share, that's what we can do. And some of that is showed on TV, but most of the time I see that when I'm looking at Spectrum News 1, not on 2, 4, and 7. So that's mine for now. Take good care. I'll see you on Friday, and I'll be sure to remember that. Bye for now.